It's your comedy host, Pastor K. Yeah, we'll be discussing trending topics surrounding Christians and the body of Christ, which is geared towards fulfilling my mandate of building up God's people in their most holy faith. And today's theme is spiritually romantic vibe. I have two fabulous guests in our midst, and the first I would love to introduce is my multi-talented childhood friend, Tony sister. She's a Christian, she's a civil servant, she's a medical practitioner, she's a singer, she's a writer, she's a fashionista. In fact, she's also an entrepreneur, and there are so many on her profile. Today, I want you to join me in welcome my elegant Jessie Tebepa.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I know anytime I call your number, you're always there to pick my calls, and I appreciate our friendship for this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it even more.
Yeah, I'm ready to introduce my second guest. He is my colleague, and do you know what? Someone on Facebook asked me if he's my colleague in singlehood, and I said, "Oh, this guy just cracked my ribs." He's not only my colleague in singlehood, he's also my colleague in ministry. He hails from Kolo town of Ogbia local government area in Bayelsa State. He is a prolific music pastor, a vocal coach, a preacher, a worship leader, the president of the famous gospel group known as Deeper Worship Crew. He's also the CEO of Oracle Music World. He is currently serving as the General Secretary of the Fellowship of Gospel Music Ministers of Nigeria, Fogbon, Bayelsa State Chapter. And he's currently serving as the Music and Youth Pastor of Grace Baptist Church, Agudama APA, in Legua, Bayelsa State, in Nigeria. He has indeed created a niche for himself. Please join me as I celebrate Pastor Samuel Billy Jr.
Thank you very much. It's nice having you around.
You're welcome. I'm really excited that you pick my call and accept my request on the short notice. I'm so much excited.
Ministry, we are all doing it for ministry.
Yeah. I'm so grateful. Actually, when I go through your profile, I'm wondering how you can carry out all these responsibilities with astounding results. Can you tell us how you pull all of these things together?
It's grace. I will just sum it up to grace. And also being in God's plan and purpose.
Okay.
That has helped me in doing all that I do. Having a music crew, having an organization, and then working effectively in the church and also in various organizations. God has decided to shape my life to this time. And I can only attribute all that I do now to the fact that grace is speaking in my life.
We give God all the glory. Hallelujah. Preach, Pastor. Do you know why I picked you to feature in this show? I have seen your friends bragging on social media. Pastor Bill, when are you getting married? Who is the girl? I want to know her. Please, can you upload a picture? So, in fact, recently somebody said you're about to write a book, I'll soon get married.
Yes.
Is that true? Are you about writing such a book?
Watch out.
Well, I'm really having fun. Let's go for a break. We'll be back in a few minutes. This is made by the Ezekiel of the Church Welcome to carry all your spirit. Say, Jesus, be strong. Yeah.
After we need to know the person, we don't
Valentine's Day, and the whole city will be painted red. I'm already on red. In fact, I need to stand up to this. It's okay. This is made by Yimbo Ezekiel on a very short notice. Very affordable at that. So, to my guests, today is Valentine, and the whole town will be painted red. The event centers, the club, in fact, everywhere will be filled with celebrants. I won't call them people again, with celebrants. And only a very few will be in churches. What do you think is the misconception about that, especially among Christians?
Get that question.
No, that is for you. You're not saying, sorry, Pastor, you tell us. Why there's a misconception about that?
Well, thank you again. The misconception about that is the fact that people have this notion that Valentine is all about taking their girlfriend in quotes,
Okay.
boyfriend. I would not want to call spouse because the people who are married tend to have a different ideology to what Valentine is all about. But the young ones, the young chaps, the guys, the ladies, have a different ideology about Valentine.
Exactly.
And they feel that going to church, especially this one is Sunday, so for them, church thing is not.
It's really outdated.
It's outdated. So let us go clubbing. That is why, if you look around, you have echoes of love that was done on Friday, and there is also one that is coming up. There is love on reading, love on club, so on. And so they feel that they will just go to club. And we have so many, but my side is worst. We have clubs all over.
That's the only thing they do here. Majorly.
Clubs all over. So they discover the fact that they just feel that Valentine should just be about having sex, go to club, and not church. Valentine to them is not as a Christian. Valentine is meant for a Christian. I want to say unbeliever. Everybody believes in something.
Yeah. That's right. Everybody
believes in something. So it's on Christian. So that is their own. So, but for me, I tend to tell my youths in church, Valentine is love. And what is love? Love is God. And God is love. And that is the bottom line of it.
But from the history of Valentine, it actually came from the church. So how did the world hijack this thing from us?
It came from the church, but we felt that it's no longer necessary. The pagans tend to enjoy all of these benefits than the church. I will give a quick example.
Okay.
Some years past, I told my pastor, one of my senior pastors that I was working with, sir, I would love us to do Valentine's special in church. The pastor said, no, Valentine is meant for unbelievers. I said, sir, let us go through church history. Churches have already told us where Valentine is coming from. And it is meant for us to see how we capture it from the people that we tend to see that it is theirs and bring it back to church. Gradually, it's already the way from our own Christian perspective. And so we must go back to it. And how can we do that? It's for us to see how we capture it back and bring it to the church and make it more churchy than making it more worldly. Yeah. Valentine is more worldly for Christ's sake. Valentine is church.
In fact, the Valentine was a saint to begin with. It was a saint to begin with. So I think why many people are going out is because the world is looking more attractive. You see a secular musician, they sing about love, and you're asked to be with, dressing half naked and then doing all of sorts. And it's not meant to be. Because the churchy people are becoming too carried away with the spirit. They are after being tongue speaking and
heaven at last.
Yeah, thank you. So they have ignored this aspect of love.
Yeah.
I think even Jesus had a supper with his disciples. That can be called Valentine, because it was a season of love. It was about ascending, and he had to gather his people together. Let's share one something. Is it compulsory that your vow is someone you have eros or intimate feelings for? The reason why I'm asking you this is because many single, they try to disregard Valentine, saying that they're not tangled with anyone. So, is it compulsory? that the person you are with, that it must be an erotic or intimate relationship?
Well, first of all, is it compulsory? That is a yes or no question. So before I go to the explanation, no. It is not compulsory that you have to have someone you are attached to. You can be a single Pringle and still celebrate Valentine.
What did she just say again? Single Pringle. Have you heard that before? Well, you're also in the vocabulary class.
So yes, you can be a single Pringle and still enjoy Valentine. Especially if you are a Christian. Because the whole idea about Valentine is love and giving.
Exactly.
So, celebrating your Valentine should not only be with your partner. As a matter of fact, I think that it should transcend beyond who you have that intimate relationship with. And you should, every once in a while, take it out there. Because there are so many people, right? There are so many people that need to feel this love. They don't exactly know what love is. And what does the Bible say? Look at the way Jesus loves, right? Look at the way Jesus loves. And then love like that. I think it's in Ephesians chapter 5 verse 2 or something like that. So Jesus should be our role model of love. So what did Jesus do? He went about healing the sick, right? Feeding the hungry, raising the dead. Now, maybe I am making it too spiritual, like, okay, you want to go around praying. Some people will not answer amen to your prayer because there is hungry in their stomach.
Exactly.
There is no food. So why don't you use this Valentine? For me, I'm also of the opinion that you should show love every other day, not necessarily only Valentine. I'm also not against Valentine celebration. Oh, I am a big lover. Okay, I'm not against Valentine celebration, but you should learn to show love, because if you are in God, then love should be the way you live, right? But if you want to make it periodically, for people who don't even have the means, right? If you want to save and then go somewhere without camera, go somewhere to feed people who are hungry, to help the sick, because this is what will be requested for us on that great day. Did you come to feed me when I was sick? Did you come to visit me when I was in the hospital? Did you come to see me in prison? If you did all this, oh, welcome to my abode. So you can go out there, save if you have to, just so you have the means. But it does not have to be anything big. Sometimes you just see a child walking on the road, no slippers, nothing. How much will 300 naira slippers cost you? You get the slippers. That person is your Valentine. Your neighbor is your Valentine. Okay, so this whole thing about stressing people, I don't have a partner. Let me just sit quietly in one corner and think of my life. Let me scroll through Instagram. Oh, beautiful couples. God, when? God has already blessed you with love. Go out there and share the love. Especially if you don't have somebody, because partners can take your attention.
Exactly.
Right? If you don't have that person taking your attention, why not share your attention to the world?
Yeah, I actually have the next question for you. That's to do with how breakups have been able to affect your Valentine's sense. Because many people out there just believe, have been heartbroken one or several times, so I don't want to engage anything Valentine. All these things are fake. We all have been through it. So I want to ask you specifically, has heartbreak affected your Valentine's sense?
Of course, heartbreak. When it grips you in a certain way. Okay, now let me give a disclaimer. Because some people say, but you are Christian, you have Jesus, you should be strong and you should be firm. Definitely. But remember, we are spirit and we are body. And as far as we are body and we are in this world, it is not your spirit that eats the cake. It is not your spirit that drinks the wine or listens to the love song. It is your body. Your spirit feeds on the word of God. Your body eats jollof rice. Do you understand? Yeah. So definitely when you are in this world and you have sort of planned your life with somebody, you already named your kids, you already have businesses in each other's names, you have built this hypothetical world around them. and then there is a breach in that contract, definitely it would throw you off balance. And for me, it wasn't just Valentine's Day, because before I even knew about February 14th being Valentine's Day, it was first Daddy's birthday. So today is my dad's.
Yeah, then you eat rice and chicken.
So heartbreak made me not look at Daddy's birthday. Heartbreak at some point in time, before we knew who we were, right? Before we knew who we were, has held me down. But growing up, thank God, they say time is a great healer, right?
Yeah.
And what they don't know is that God is the healer in the time. So, time being the great healer, God being the great healer, with time, I eventually saw that, yeah, I'm alone, but it's not the essence of not celebrating. If you want to celebrate, if you don't want to celebrate Valentine, it's up to you. But as a Christian, love and giving is what your entire existence is all about, because that is the way you preach the reconciliation message. So as you grow up, you start to see that heartbreak. Yes, it's just a little thorn in the flesh. We take paracetamol for those things now. We don't let it weigh us down. And after a while, it's like it's one of those things. God has bigger plans, because when you go through the Bible, right, and then you see all the excuses that Moses gave to God about not going to meet Pharaoh he gave a lot of excuses and his camera and all that. You saw that with all those excuses, God's will still prevailed. We can use that as a standard for our lives, that despite all the excuses, all the hiccups that has happened, God's will still prevail.
Thank you so much for helping those that are going through heartbreaks and who are suffering the pity part right now. This will go a long way in healing them, because everybody goes through challenges. We go through different degrees and phases of challenge, just that we have to come out of this strong. So now to Pastor Billy, I'm really interested in you because of this your friends really pulling you on social media. Getting married. So since that book is coming, I'm about to ask you one singular question right now, and I need honest answers to that question. Can you spend the rest of your life with someone that is not spiritually romantic? I'm asking because from my point of view, and I stand to be corrected, most spiritually inclined people like you, most people like you are not romantic. Can you deal with that for a lifetime? Spend the rest of your life with someone that is spiritual but not romantic.
Now, first, let me correct an error. Every pastor is romantic.
I would want to disagree with you. Every pastor is not romantic.
Every pastor is romantic.
Okay, you're a pastor, so please explain to us.
For the fact that there are some persons who are not romantic. For the fact that the guy get mine, go me to bed, rather than to bed agree.
But not all of them razzle. People razzle on their behalf.
It doesn't matter.
On their behalf, and some of them say
No. Well, that is then. Well, for me, I don't actually believe in that. God showed me. I am not in that line of thought as a pastor. Some persons, when I say that, they say I'm not spiritual. They say I'm not spiritual. I tell my youth, I tell them, if anybody comes here and tell you that the Lord showed you to me, tell the person, go. But that is not the person. Back to your Christ. Spirituality and romance goes side by side.
It has to.
Goes side by side. Yes. You cannot be spiritual at the same time not being romantic. You cannot be romantic.
I have to breathe deep, because what you're giving me is too hard for me to take.
Okay.
That you have to be little
The two have to go side by side.
Okay.
Why are we putting them side by side? For me to be spiritual is because of the gift and calling of God, because I'm born of God. That makes me spiritual.
Yeah.
What makes me romantic? God is love. For He gave. He's giving. Like what she said, first question. Valentine has to do with love and giving. But love, he said, is giving.
Yes.
Not about taking. And so, in that process of giving, if you don't love the person, and if you are giving somebody, you will not just treat them and just take. Your words was of affection, your gesture cannot just So it has to be appealing to the person you are giving. That is romance. Some persons tend to say romance has to do with sex and all of that. I'm actually bringing a narrative to the point of saying romance in this context is the fact of your affection, your words of affection to the person, how you present things, your presentation, your manner of presentation,
Your commitment.
Your commitment. That is romance. So you cannot be spiritual and then you don't know how to say words of affection to an individual. You cannot be spiritual and then you are not lovable. You cannot be spiritual and at the same time you are not presentable. Now, putting these things together, it takes to the point of being committed. But it takes commitment for it to actually be. It is commitment that makes us spiritual. Don't speak things that if you are not committed to the study of God's word, you do not know the mysteries therein. Likewise. So for me, I cannot get married to someone who is not spiritually
Romantic.
Okay, let's sorry.
You see that you have been nodding your head. and I think you have a different opinion.
Let me come
So what he has said.
I think that when you say spiritually romantic, it is trying to merge the celestial that we are, the spirits that we are, and the body. But the truth of the matter is, yes, you have talked about romance beautifully well. It's your affection, it's everything, it's an entire package. Now some people will say that this world is not my own. Just a passerby. I am pressing on. What is that scripture? Pressing on
towards the mark.
Yes, the higher calling.
Yeah.
But we are in this world, right? And I am in a relationship with you. Will you now neglect the physical that we have because you are pressing on to something higher?
So that definitely no.
So we always talk about the man we cannot give.
Yeah.
Cannot. Right. Somebody that does not give. And she will say, stick sweet. You know what stick sweet is? That's okay for.
Yeah.
Okay. Stick sweet. You cannot buy. Romance, when people talk about romance, they think it's such a big thing. Oh, it has to be extravagant, it has to be candlelit dinner. That is also there if the person likes those kind of things. But romance is just being thoughtful, having the person as the first thing you think about. You go on a trip, right? You're coming back and you say, oh, I saw this CD that I think you would like the song in. So I bought it for you. How much is this CD? 200 naira. Romance is not so expensive. If I like stick sweet, buy it. If I like perfume, just get it because
Sometimes it has nothing to do with having. Sometimes just tell the person you are sweet.
Write a love. Oh God, love letters are they seem so archaic, but people still value their love letters. Don't post the picture on WhatsApp status. Just put a love letter and hide it somewhere. Keep the romance alive. That will even help you do the work of God better because you are happy. So that when your home is happy, you can now face the devil and tell the devil get out, because there is no tension between you and your spouse. Your energy is stronger.
Now, when you meet people that are not romantic but are spiritual, how do you handle them? Do you have to teach them that, okay, I like flowers, I like you touching my hair? No, actually, I'll be real with you.
Okay.
I met somebody that was hoping to have an intimate relationship with.
Okay.
And I just tried him and said, hug me. Sweetheart, that hug was abstract because I was not feeling the heartbeat. I was very serious and that turned off everything. I will be real with you.
Yeah, okay.
That turned off it. I was like, if I can't feel your heartbeat, then everything you say will not mean anything to me because from the hug, I'm supposed to feel you. And this is what makes love make a difference from sex. Because we understand ourselves. But when the hug is abstract, that means the words will be abstract, the giving will be abstract. So when you meet such people, me personally, I will just bring up my opinion first. I don't like teaching them because most times when you teach them, they only give you fake products. They're not real. But when you meet persons that flow, the thing just goes. And it's beautiful, it's sweet. How do you handle such things? Because me, I just want them off with it.
When they are spiritual and they're not romantic.
Yeah.
First of all, I have a disclaimer. If you are not a romantic person, don't come and frustrate the romance in me.
No.
Because I am romantic. I love that. I think that I have learned from experience. My parents have been together for nearly 40 years now. Yes, my parents have been together. From dating to marriage, I think they got married officially when I was about 5 years old. Because I remember the ceremony vividly. So my parents have been together for, I think, 40 years because I did the photo shoot for their 38th wedding anniversary. So it should be about 40 plus now. So I have learned, and the reason why I learned from them, definitely you have to learn from the examples you see around you before you go into yours. So from my parents, I don't know if it's a thing with Ijo men, but let me not stereotype. They are wonderful fathers, right? I know your father. I don't know him personally, but I know the things that he has done,
sacrifices,
yes, for you and your siblings. And I know what my father has done and is still doing. And I happen to know lots of Ijo fathers, right? They are wonderful fathers. But when it comes to being a husband, I hope that the men of our generation will change that narrative.
Yeah.
Because it is as though they only put responsibility in front. When it comes to anything that concerns the family, paying of school fees, provision of food, giving the children pocket money, healthcare, go to church. It also seems like a responsibility to bring you up in the way of the Lord. So go to church, go to school. It's bam, 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 bam. It is responsibility. But when it comes to doing something from the heart, especially for this person you met before your responsibility came, but then for men who are ready to learn, right? And for women also who are ready to learn, constant conversation. You keep telling this person, I love these things, because the person is not psychic. The person cannot read your mind to say that this is what this person likes. So voice it. And what people say, exactly. Say it first, and then do love the way you want to be loved. My mom wants to receive, so she gives. Although the giving is not because I have to receive, but it's because I want you to love me that way. That is how I love to be loved.
Okay, now I would love to ask you the same question in another format, because she basically anchored on those that are already married, and they don't have an option to give. Now I want to go to you that is a single guy, and there's this adage or there's this popular saying that says don't beg for love. So you have an option to pull out, and you're with this person that is not understanding the same love language as you do. How do you handle such person? Because I personally don't like talking over negativity because, like you said, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Please bring me flowers. You are expecting me to say that every year.
That's why I use my.
Yeah, that is why we are single now. So I want him to anchor on the singles now. You don't expect me to tell you every day or every of my birthday, bring me flowers. Or you expect me to start telling you should be the first person to call me on my birthday. Seriously, I'm not supposed to be preaching that gospel. Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's so many things we should speak in tongues for. I don't think it's about waking up in the morning to give me a peck. I don't like a serious thing. I'm speaking in tongues for. You're talking the prayer aspect, and I'm coming on this prayer aspect.
Okay.
And you see, like, let me posture myself. I'm single, expecting to be happily married, and of course, there's so many guys on the line. So I should not meet this guy that is now highly spiritually inclined. Then I start telling him, oh, okay, you come in the morning. I love us. You come in the morning. So I will tell you tomorrow again. Why didn't you call me? I'm expecting your call. Where did you go to? I'm expecting you to. I'm not the one to tell you this. We should just flow. I believe it lasts longer. Because if I keep telling you, one day you'll be fatigued.
Does it always flow? Does it always flow like that?
Sometimes it doesn't flow.
So most times it does not flow.
Now, two things that we must actually put in place is my conviction. What got you attracted to that young man or lady?
Okay.
And so able to establish that. Now, let's be real with ourselves. For me, I'm the emotional type.
Oh. But you don't look it, like, seriously.
Well,
it doesn't look it.
I look like a hard guy.
Saying it now does not fit you at all.
Okay.
And also, I love my woman, my lady, to know that.
Ladies, take notes. He's saying it now.
I've already told them to press the
Okay. I was in a relationship. I lasted almost 7 years. I practically told her all of my love language. And she had to align herself to how I live. Also, we know that sometimes when we want to teach and we don't exhibit what we are telling the person to do, we lose control. So as much as I want to tell you the first time, I love my space. And then at every time, at such a time, this is. But that will also come when I tell you my plans. To be able to inform you of what I want to do per second, per hour, per minute. So that we know that, okay, at some time, this is where this person is, and this person take pause, or this person prefer send a text message. So she practically knows all of those movements and everything. And so, in this present time, for young guys, young ladies, the truth of the matter is that you can't, you just let the person once, she said it, you teach the person. I do that by giving you books to read. Okay, I'm actually giving tips of who my lady is. Okay, now. I will just tell you, okay, there is this book by Chapman, Language of love.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're able to read that, and you see how I do, you should be able to know that, okay, as a son, this is what he likes, and this is how you should be able. So you approach me in that way. If you go contrary, it becomes an issue. So you must teach.
Most of the person is just trying to try out new ways, right?
Understanding comes in.
Okay.
Understanding comes in.
That's why I said we have to flow from the beginning, because you already seen the furtherance in this one. It's not simple anymore. It's not just in admin addition now.
I don't think that it works like that all the time.
It's not sometimes understanding and continuous interaction will actually make you to know the person the more. Because if you feel that you just say it once and then you assume that the person will just have to just take it, it does not work like that. It doesn't work like that. And so maybe we'll have to advise her. We have to advise on the fact that
maybe this has made it difficult for me to just be with someone. Like, I'm hard on some guys because of that. So please, just time.
I don't know. Some people have it that way from the get-go.
Yes,
right?
yes.
They and their partners vibe to the same vibrations. I say this thing like that because that is how I feel it in my spirit. I'm having these vibrations, and then this person comes and vibes in it. You know, it's the same current, it flows. But then sometimes you meet someone and it's a softer current, you know, and you will not put it in a nagging form. That's why the love the way you want to love still applies. You know the person's love languages. If we all know the 5 love languages and more.
And more. There are many more.
There are so many.
So more.
So you are loving this person the way his body likes to love, right? And now you want to show him how you want to be loved. Now, if I like gifts, I will shower you with gifts. For me, love without giving, I've not even started loving. I've not even started. It does not make you a fool if you like to give and receive gifts. Because so many people will now say, I will come be your food, I will come be your marker. No, it does not make you, it's just the way you love. And if giving is your love language, me, I already see you as son of God. Yes, because God loved and He gave. So that is the first love language I understand. I understand giving first before the other act of service.
Even in your conscious state.
It is giving I understand first.
Guys, are you here?
It is giving I understand first. So if I want to show you that, you know, the way to my heart is giving, I will give you. And I am not giving you for you to give me back immediately. I am giving you continuously because that is just who I am. Eventually you will see it. And the day you give me one, oh Lord, I will show you that this is what I love, you know, shower you with all the thanks and all the praises that you deserve. Okay, but also you will not neglect the other parts of what the person tries to do to impress you. You know, the person might not be a giver, but the person might be doing different things to please you. The person might not even be a gift giver, like buy and give, right? Buy you phone, buy you clothes, give you money. The person might not even be that kind of giver, although that side is paramount. But the person might be giver in other things by spending quality time. He gives you time. He gives you attention. He gives you
long words.
Exactly. He tells you sweet things. He does things around that pleases you. For example, you have to go for an interview and this person has already gotten a card ready for you. Or card is still money. Or he has called one person that you know to facilitate the movement. It's still love.
still a way of
It's still a way of giving. They just show it in different dimensions. So that eventually, so what I'm trying to say is you appreciate those other things so that eventually when they drop the iPhone 12.
Why did you go for iPhone 12?
I like big things.
Hello, she loves big things.
So when they drop that one, you know that okay, this person has been there. And you have been showing appreciation, not that you are grumbling towards other things, just waiting for the big thing to drop. So you appreciate every other thing that the person has been doing to speak to your own love language. Appreciate everything and then also appreciate the big one.
But the bottom line here, we will need to allow the person tutor the person. If need be, tutor the person to the way you want.
To the way you want.
Yes.
So that means you're going to be saying that there's no central way of being loved.
Yes.
No.
Your partner, so there's no blueprint.
There's no blueprint.
So your partner just tells you exactly.
There's no having
I'm really having a lovely time. So in conclusion, what will you say? What is your advice or yours? I'll start with you because our clergy will have to round up as a clergy.
Wow.
Sweetheart, please can you just, in conclusion, tell us your best advice to intending couples, to couples.
I'm also an intending couple.
I'm also an intending couple.
Okay. So, in being spiritually romantic, of course, that means, for me, that means you are doing everything together. You are vulnerable to the person. You share your highest moments and your lowest moments with this person. You recognize the fact that if we are both happy, I always like that together we can chase 10,000. And imagine God is the perfect network manager, right? He's the perfect networker. If two chase 10,000, when they say network business, I am one, I bring two of you will bring four. Not so.
Yeah.
Now, you are one, you have brought me to walk with you. Two of us will bring 10,000. 10,000 will bring 1 million. That is just how it is. But we know that in order to face these 10,000, we have to do those little things, and they are little things, to be honest. There are very little things that break relationships, and I'm glad that I did not get married the time that I wanted to get married. If not, I now I would have been divorced because I was ill prepared. Now there is no perfect time for marriage, but somehow when you have gotten to a point, there are things that you have learned that you were ill-informed initially to have handled that. Now there are a lot of things that one can handle. So as a closing, I will say that in as much as you want to chase 10,000, don't neglect your own front. Don't neglect your partner's physical needs because you are body. You are flesh. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Right? You are body, you are flesh. In doing so, there are some things that you might have to bear in mind. I think I already said mutual help. Mutual help. When this person has been there for you, helping around, like the wife, putting the kids around, there should be, meet me at a point. Not only the wife doing things, husband come together and do things around, the house as well. So there should be mutual help. There should be mutual respect. There's this thing about people wanting to marry a decade gap within marriage so that there will be respect. For me, I feel that respect has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with age. If we decide that we want to be partners, then we should be able to respect each other. So there's mutual help, there's mutual respect, there is communication. You see that way that you could not stop talking to the person before you got married or got together, that way that you couldn't stop, you couldn't get off the phone. Like you finish your work, you're waiting for your next break, you just be on the phone. And in that conversation, you talk and then you listen, right? Carry that conversation. Yes, responsibility steps in, but always find the time to talk. Have conversation. And the reason why it's a conversation is because you talk, you wait, you leave, this person listens, the other person talks. It's a two-way thing, you know. And then he said something, space. Yes, you are the kind of person that likes to be all over the person, but space, giving each other space is very important, because as individuals, right, sometimes we just want to detach from everything that is happening, right? It's not because we are depressed, it's not because we are sad, but sometimes we just want to detach from everything that is happening and just be observant. We just want to watch as individuals. You know, if the person, in that giving the person space, it might mean that the girl wants to go and hang out with her girls, or she wants to take a trip, or she wants to take a course. The same thing with the guy. He wants to further, you know, do a further study, he has a project that he needs to manage. But it maybe you people just need space once in a while, give each other space. It is needed. Because when you are together in each other's space, every kind
of familiarity sets.
Apart from over familiarity, some things will just start annoying you. Why did you shave your eyebrow like that? And since I did not even know that this was how you shave your eyebrow. Little things. But when you give each other space, and I'm not talking about, you know, emotional space. I'm just talking about physical space.
Yeah, physical space.
Physically, not emotional space, please. Give each other the physical space. Let your individuality show, and the things that make you so different are supposed to bind you together, you know. Because you and your twin, you people are not the same. Right from the moment I saw you, I think the one thing I liked about you is the fact that they were not identical. The fact that I don't have to look for Mark to recognize Pastor K or AB. You know, I just like the fact that they were twins, but they were not identical.
So you're okay.
Yeah, she's a twin. Wow.
I was putting a picture on Facebook.
Yeah, so you heard it here first.
I'm going to pay her for that.
Yes, please. I like chicken. So, you know, let your individuality shine through. If one person likes karaoke, the other person likes football, find a way to blend it. Find a common ground. And then there is one thing I always say, fight fair. That is the last thing, fight fair. Because there is no way you will not fight with your spouse. Even as siblings, you fight, then talk less of your spouse. Fight fair. By fighting fair, I mean, you know that this thing is in the past. Don't go and dig it to use as your ammunition to shoot this person. You are fighting because you have to have difficult conversations in order to reach a point where everything is smooth again. So in having difficult conversations, you are not loading ammunition, you are not loading
Get ready for you to shoot.
You know, to shoot the person. You are fighting fair, and you are fighting because this is what I really want. Not because you want to go and tell the person that you did this thing in your past, so that the person will not think, oh, so you can hold a grudge. Love bears no grudge.
Love forgives. Love forgives.
Love covers a multitude of sins. And even the Bible talks about being spiritually romantic, right? If I can prophesy and I can speak in tongues and I have no love, please, you look like pastors. What does it say? I am lying, right? So even the Bible talks about being spiritual and being romantic. In all your prophecy and your tongue blasting, walling in praise, blasting in tongues, have love in your hearts. So.
Okay, in conclusion, Pastor Billy, I want you to summarize about this, our theme, spiritually romantic, VAR. I know VAR is not limited to only February 14. It should be an everyday thing. So, how do you balance? Because many people are one-legged and they are either spiritual or romantic. I want you to put this balance so that we can go.
Okay, thank you. In balancing it as Christians, every individual, let me put it that way, as we celebrate Valentine, let us know that we are all spiritual entities, we are all spiritual beings. And because we are all spiritual, it was love that brought us together, which makes us to be lovable, and to be loved. At the same time, we have to be romantic as well. And so in bringing all of that, I will just, in conclusion, like what the Bible is saying, in Ecclesiastes 12, verse 13, it says, in all of these things, the end of the whole matter is the fear of God.
In the end of this whole discussion is fear.
And the fear of God, in fearing God, you know that you cannot be loving at the same time not show love, the romantic aspect. She was saying something, we said it over the time, that in this love, it has to do with both giving and then receiving. And so when we're talking about this issue of being spiritually romantic, it's about our spiritual lives, that we've been born of God, and then to love, and know that in showing that love, we also know that we're also getting that same love back to us. And so I will actually end it by saying that everyone, as we are celebrating Valentine, as much as, thank God it's Sunday, as we go to church, let's show love to everybody. As I love you, the love of God, show me to, I will not say, well, let's give somebody a holy kiss. It is very, very important. Holy.
It's what happens on Sunday, so
Holy.
holy.
But be spiritual at the same time, be romantic. And balancing. You can't be spiritual and not be romantic. That is very. So fear God, in fearing of God, see how you are spiritually inclined and also you are romantically
inclined. Thank you very much for coming. Like, I really had a lovely time. This is beyond what I imagined when I invited both of you. And your combination is just a bomb. And I'm so grateful that you guys honored my request. Thank you so much. So in the spirit of Valentine, we have a little present, very little one. Love is about giving, right? So Victory FM in collaboration with Christian Cruxes will give you a token of gift to appreciate you for honoring our invitation. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, we have 2 little parcels. Yeah, so this first one we're going to Pastor Billy. Thank you very much. Actually, I told her I'm going to show her cup of noodles, but she didn't me behind the camera, so I'm hiding it here. I'll give it to my very wonderful, multi-talented child. Thank you, sweetheart. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in with us and having a quality time. See you next month. I still remain your comedy host, Pastor K, Christian Cruxes. Bye.